What's up, y'all? It's me, May, once again. I am here today. I'm here today to bring forth some portal info. It was just January 11th, so that's 111 here in the United States, and whoever else writes their date like us. I'm genuinely, honestly interested in stuff like that, and I'm gonna look into time zones and stuff like that a little bit more here soon. Full moon coming up on the 13th. What else has been going on? The LA fires. It's lifing. As y'all say on the internet. Life is lifing. I'm just trying to think of anything before I get into the messages from the cards that I pulled. I'll probably just do a quick little shout out. Diana Lopez, her YouTube channel definitely keeps me up yet grounded. Very sweet, very simple, soulful. So, if you're looking for some new sounds, I recommend Diana Lopez's channel. Okay, let's get into it. I did my simple spread that I do for most readings and most portals or moon phases. So let's start with the theme. The theme of the 111 portal. So, as always, I pulled from my same decks. The card we got is Pau d'Arco. My camera doesn't do it justice, but this is such a pretty card. Pau d'Arco. It is number 7. It is associated with the moon as well as Pluto. I don't know what degree the full moon is. Let's see what the interwebs is saying. At 5:27. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. It'll occur at 24 degrees, the Pisces degree. So yes, it is opposite. This full moon is going to be opposite Pluto. See, where's it? At the top, moon and Pluto. Did I say the word? The key word is metamorphosis. So, through that opposition of the full moon and Pluto, a metamorphosis is going to take place. The tarot card I pulled with it is the 8 of Cups. Our collective, the Pearlnwood Collective, we have been receiving this vibe for the past few readings. Eight of Cups, the power of your emotions. And I say that because of the number 8. So, the full moon is going to illuminate the power of your emotions, as full moons tend to do. And I'm feeling, to whatever level of degree your maturity is and how well connected you are to your emotions, that's how it's going to play out in your day-to-day life or during this time. There's a bleeding uterus on here. So not to be in nobody's business, but maybe somebody's cycle is going to change or start during the full moon. Maybe you're a full moon bleeder. I think they call that the red moon cycle. And who is this lady? There's skulls around her, so I'm thinking it's Kali Ma. The destroyer of evil. Kali don't play. So I definitely recommend working with her energy. So that's the theme from this. And then Desire from my other deck. I think that's such a cool card. Angel wings. Sitting up top of the mountain. Or hill. Desire is the card. It's numbered 2. It's in the fire element. The keywords on here are heart's true desire, gratitude, address inner blocks. Cancer is associated with nurturance and motherly nurturance, because there's masculine nurturance, fatherly nurturance, and I think that's what's being exposed really at this time, the balance of motherly and fatherly nurturance, because this with the sun in Capricorn and the moon in Cancer. With the number 2 as a desire, and the theme, the heart's true desires. In the tarot, I pulled 2 cards, came out, King of Cups and the Hanged Man. So the King of Cups goes along with this 8 of Cups. So it's about, emotionality, excuse my voice, emotionality, emotional mastery, and emotional maturity, again, gained through being suspended in time, suspended within a situation, gaining a different point of view. So discovering what you're truly grateful for when you are hemmed up and tied up, when you're thinking about, once you realize, I've never looked at something from this angle before. I've never really thought about motherly or fatherly nurturance and how it's affected me, And I think that the events leading up to this full moon and everything is literally putting everybody in a place to stop and really think about what's going on the inside. What do I really want? These fires in California show that any and everything can be lost in a moment. And I can only imagine in those moments, for those who have lost their homes and no telling what else, I can only imagine in those moments where they were thinking about what truly matters to them. What am I truly grateful for? What can I honestly take with me in this new beginning? So this 1111 portal coincides with that full-on release. So how is this directly affecting the Pearlnwood Collective? The card is Amanita. You see those shrooms? Amanita, number 42, 4 and 2 is 6. The associated planets are Neptune, Pluto, and Mercury. There's a full male deer back there for whatever reason. That guy seems super important. And then you see the fairies down here just gathering together. And then you see this less dense formed fairy over to the side. A sprite maybe. And then the fairies are around their cauldron playing music. The keyword is conduit. Another shout out to a YouTube channel, The Connected Conduit. Her name's Amanda, and I think she's really sweet, and I like the way that she presents information. So shout out to her. But yes, conduit. I'm gonna read the guidebook. Good. Because I like this Dex guidebook. Amanita, 42. The keywords are conduit, channel, bridger of realities, connection to higher power, celebration, coming home. Sorry, I wasn't on the screen. Family and awakening. Goes completely with the theme of the upcoming full moon. And now, really, because I think the moon is already in Cancer, but commonly known as fly agaric or fly amanita, this plant has been used in folk medicine since at least 6000 BCE, making it one of the earliest recorded entheogens, hallucinogenic plant medicines used for religious and shamanic purposes. In Central European folk traditions, fly agaric is perceived as a gateway to the world of nymphs, fairies, dwarves, and hobgoblins. In almost every tradition, it is connected to the afterworld and to a deepening of sexuality. Sexuality, that is a video in and of itself that I want to make, and it's been on my heart for a while. But sexuality is the quality of your sex, meaning your biological sex, not the act of. That's not what I'm speaking about. I definitely want to shed light on what sexuality truly is, the quality of being your biological sex, because I, in my own personal practice, I definitely have made it a point to appreciate my womanhood, regardless of how mainstream or soft girl era it may or may not be. I have definitely paid more attention to the fact that I was born at this time as a biological woman. So this is already interesting. So how is this going to affect us? Let me read the guidance. That was just intro into the herb itself. The guidance is, your channel is open. Earth spirits celebrate you as you come back home. You feel one with nature and all of her offspring, your extended family. You can clearly see through the veil, and your gift of profound insight is now at hand. You are here to be a bridge for the children of the earth, a conduit of safety and healing energy for the newer generations. Embody the medicine of children. Laugh, sing, and play, spreading joy in the world regardless of your age. If you feel disconnected, breathe. Focus on releasing old breath by emptying your lungs with long exhales. Explore by connecting to nature's cycles and co-create with your chosen family to regain a sense of belonging. Okay, so I feel like this full moon coming up after this 111 portal really deals with, is really affecting us when it comes down to how were we nurtured on a motherly, fatherly, familial sense, and then how have we taken over that role for ourselves. And this full moon is going to illuminate, the work that we have put in this area, or the work that we need to put in this area. Children of the earth are of all ages. And I mean, of course, the actual children, because they're the newest ones here. So I feel like this is directly going to affect our commitment to our passions and our creative spirit and our childlike spirit. Neptune, Pluto, and Mercury. Just gonna look up at least the signs that they're in. Let's see. So we have Neptune. Neptune is at 27 degrees of Pisces. Cool. 27 is the Gemini degree, I believe. And then Pluto, we already know, is in Aquarius. The first degree of Aquarius. And then Mercury is in the first decan of Capricorn, 5 degrees. So the Leo degree. Which is a fire sign. Just the wands. Yes, this is going to... So 111. That's the number of the Empress, 3. And that 0 is the full. The 0111. The full and the Empress. Okay. And then I feel like I need to say more about the Fool and the Empress, because angel number 111 is associated with your thinking and your thoughts. So tying this in with the message so far, how are you framing your familial mindset? What does family mean to you? What does family look like to you? How are you nurturing your family? How are you leaping? The Fool just takes on life with the childlike innocence of being reborn, not necessarily completely just annoyingly naive or unjustly naive type of way. Because this message is super focused on the moon, but I want to tie in the purpose of the portal. And it's the full moon is going to help show how quickly your thoughts start to show up in your reality. And to learn how to embody the Fool and the Empress. Because from the Fool to the Empress, we have the Fool, we have the Magician, we have the High Priestess, and then the Empress. So, from jumping out into the world, taking everything you have to create what you need, to being in touch with your intuition, all to then become the ultimate nurturer, the Empress. Embody that divine mother, to put it simply. And that's for men and women and children. Now, how is this working? How's the 111 portal working in our favor? I pulled ashwagandha. It's number 54, which is a 9, and it's associated with the North Node and the Moon. So, naturally, this has a lot to do with the Moon. The North Node transitioned today to Pisces. That's wild that this is 54, and then the tarot that I pulled with it is the Hermit, and Hermit is a 9 card too, and it's 2025, which is a 9 year. So I think this is lit, that this is to our advantage. For me, 9s associate ancestors. Now, of course, your ancestral background is super personal, so only you know that. Only you can. I think that's definitely something that we're all being called to do, is tap into our inner hermit. You know, shining the light on our own individualized internal path. But the key word on ashwagandha is purpose, which is the North Node. So the collective purpose right now is, it's the 29th degree in Pisces. Is the North Node and the South Node always retrograde? Because when I look it up, there's always an R next to it. That's just a genuine question. But I like this card because you see the sun and the moon bottled up. And again, that full moon is coming up. But the nodes switched to Pisces and Virgo. So the collective purpose right now is, it's the critical degree of Pisces. So what does anybody know a critical Pisces? That's just that spectrum, the Pisces Virgo spectrum, like critical. A critical Pisces. That's so funny to me. But yes, our current, the purpose has shifted to these watery themes, like we saw the 8 of Cups and the King of Cups earlier. So the main thing I take from this is going within. The advantage we have is the ability to go within and tune into our own ancestral medicines and our own ancestral practices and our own ancestral ways of celebrating coming back home to ourselves and coming back home to our families, whether that's our blood families or our chosen families. That is working in our advantage at this time. And to the disadvantage, we have Passion Flower, which is 43. And we already have Amanita, which is 42. It's associated with Neptune and the Moon, so there's a lot of moon energy. This portal really was to just amplify the mental state and illuminate the mental state. and give us the opportunity to really hone in on our thoughts. So whenever the full moon and after comes, we'll be able to see this coming home to the self and, reconciling our sexuality and things like that. But our disadvantage, passion flower, the key word is surrender. So again, we already know Neptune is also in Pisces. So Neptune and the North Node are in a conjunction, as they call in astrology. Two owls on this card. Owls see everything. But surrender, our disadvantage is to surrender. I want to read this one from the guidebook too. The keywords are sacrifice, surrender, choosing growth, trusting discernment, rituals of letting go. Passion flower, a precious botanical native to Central and South America, was named for the Passion of Christ, referring to his suffering and death by Roman Catholic priests in the 1500s. It was also called La Flor de las Cinco Llagas, or the flower of the 5 wounds, referring to Christ's stigmata. The 5 petals and 5 petal-like sepals. Sorry, I learned about the parts of the flower a long time ago. Of this flower represent the 10 apostles who remained faithful to Jesus throughout the Passion. The circle of hair-like rays above the petals represents Jesus' crown of thorns. There's just a little history. The guidance says, Passion flower symbolizes surrender, sacrifice, and the crucifixion of the ego. Okay, I can see why this is the disadvantage. Passion flower resembles the need to sacrifice in order to make space and move forward. The all-seeing double-headed owl symbolizes the great understanding perceived from both sides, whether it be upside down or inside out, and bestows Goddess Passion flower with unseen truths as she performs rituals for letting go. Again, the Hanged Man, the theme. So, for this to be a disadvantage, we need to stick to our mind over matter, because we have another 8, but this time it's 8 of swords. The power of your thoughts, the power of your communication, the power of your voice. Surrender to that. Surrender to the truth. And then let your ego be crucified. I guess I could share a personal story. I definitely feel like this 2024 specifically, I went through a period of my ego being crucified, my ego being nailed to the cross, and having to just surrender to that and know that I was going to rise back up in my metaphorical 3 days. I've been in my own hermit mode due to these things. It's definitely been a mind over matter thing, because I've just known that there's a certain obedience that I've had to have to being nailed to my ego being nailed to the cross. And allow for the transformation of my ego to happen. Back to reading. Owl is symbolic of discernment and able to light up what needs to be seen. The full moon. Passion flower today might reflect the need to suspend actions that aren't aligned to your spiritual path. Are there certain decisions or action you've made that you must sacrifice in order to reassess your direction? Honor your intuition. Remember, From the Fool to the Empress, you have to go through the Magician and the High Priestess. Honor your intuition. Honor the High Priestess within yourself. And honor the High Priestess or priestesses or priests that you know. Also, if you have those in your life or in your family, your chosen family, or your blood family, it's time to honor those so you can build up the mental strength, the vocal strength, the strength of your communication abilities. Surrender to that. It's okay if projects or original ideas come to an unexpected halt. Discernment is key to experience greater truth in opportunities. And traditionally, this is associated with being stuck. You're not stuck. You need to surrender what you got going on. Anything that's making you feel stuck, you just have to let it go. And then, what is our next best course of action? We got this card in one of the past readings too. I only have 4 videos, so. Jargon Sakcha. It is number 22. 22 is the Master Builder number, which, you know, this kind of reminds me of the Tower card in Tarot. And then we have that snake-looking part of it. That's the Jargon Sakcha. And then the fire, you know, this is highly symbolic. We've already had fires. This is the year of the snake in Chinese astrology. The word is transfiguration. I made a community post about what the word transfiguration means. It's to change something to a completely different form. So definitely going to link the post. But from what I remember, transfiguration is the process of becoming something completely new. So kind of like a death and a rebirth. But I guess in a more spiritual sense. This card is associated with Mars and Pluto. As we know, there's an opposition there. Is it an opposition? Yes. Mars and Pluto are opposing, and the Moon and Pluto are opposing. Mars is our action. Mars is in Cancer, so again, it's associated with that motherly nurturance, which collectively a lot of us have, regardless of our actual mothering experiences, women and mothers have suffered a lot. And it's time to balance that out. It's time for that to transform. And the card I picked with that, 2 of Pentacles. So again, we have that opposition. Cancer, Capricorn, mom, dad, you know, that spectrum, the complements that need each other in the physical sense. We need X and Y. 2 of Pentacles is associated with balancing out your life, priorities, and things of that nature. So, our next best course of action is to prioritize and really get down to the nitty-gritty of what is it that we need to nurture ourselves. What is it that we need to balance out the need for feminine nurturance and masculine nurturance, and how do we maintain that balance? I'm going to read about Jargon Sakcha. What it says in the guidebook is always a bit concerning to me, but I'm still going to read it. The keywords are unforeseen change, breakdown, transfiguration, poison transmuted, evil neutralized, rising from the ashes. So yeah, I would think I was pretty on point. Jargon Saka Sacha is a signature plant as its indigenous uses directly mirror its appearance. Its mottled coloring calls to mind a poisonous snake native to the Amazon, and local villages use the starchy root as an antivenom. In Peru, in Peru and Ecuador, the snake and plant are both called Jargon Sacha or Fer de Lance. In Brazil, the snake is named Jararaca, and the plant Erva Jararaca, which translate to snake herb. Interesting. Now let's get to the guidance. It says, watch your back. Jargon Sacha represents radical change and breakdown. This radical and change breakdown is going to come from everyday decisions. The minor arcana is just day-to-day basic decisions. Free will. So, if you're experiencing that, the humbling point of the matter is you made that choice with your own free will. This card can mean that someone or something is harming your energy. And I believe it's choosing to be stuck. Now, of course, if there's people involved in this, then alright, but that's what I think it's talking about. This card can mean that someone or something is harming your energy. And again, the themes. Metamorphosis and desire. It says, if this applies to you, remember that the darkest of energies that bring crisis or unforeseen changes can be transmuted into benevolence. Even the strongest of poisons can be medicine. The first step is neutralizing is recognition. The second step is removing fear and insecurity, and the third step is reconstruction of the self. After being crucified on the ego, you gotta rise up the next 3 days. Examine your life from a third-person perspective. Draw upon universal forces to transmute the environment, people, or situations that are depleting your life force. Now, can you get to that through prioritizing what truly matters? Okay, I pulled some other cards from my own personal deck, and those cards are Ascended Master. And considering what's been talked about, I would say the Ascended Masters that you could talk to or, build a connection with are Jesus, Mother Mary, Jesus and Mother Mary are the main two that come off the top of my head. And then pulled Elemental Energy. The element on this card is fire. So, creativity, drive, will, those types of things. And then self-reflection. So like the Hermit. And that's the messages that I have. Thank you for listening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. Thank you for tuning in, and not just to me, but in general. It's definitely a radical time to be a human on Earth. right now it's tough, but I know looking back, it'll probably more than more than fulfill our needs and fulfill our dreams and lead us to our heart's true desires, which is unity, sisterhood, and brotherhood, for honest reasons. I do, I am offering to give these types of readings for portals, new moons and full moons, just personal questions. I'm open to tap in for those who need it. So my information is in the description box if that is of interest. As you can see, I'm a pretty chill reader. Definitely just want to tap in for those who really care and really would like to know how they can hone in on themselves. So again, to reach out to me, my information's in the description box. And until next time.